right after I shut off that video, my phone started to get wiggy. I don't know, like, for some reason, if it's when I'm outside, it seems like only when I'm outside, which makes no sense whatsoever. As soon as I finished, these two ladies walked by. One, sort of older lady, and one not so, more middle-aged, like me, I guess. And the older lady was extremely elegant, though, very elegant, very, very beautiful, very nice lady. They came up and started asking me questions like, "What are you doing?" Blah blah blah. They thought that I was an adjuster, and I said no. I said I'm just a conspiracy theorist, and I'm making a video about this building because I thought there was a satanic star at the top. That's exactly what I said. I mean, it's just awesome. I mean, I'm just finding out that transparency is so awesome. I mean, just be like, whatever you got to say, just bleh, just say it. The fear is so much more. The fear of what people are gonna think of what you say is so much worse than the actual whatever. Because I could tell the middle-aged lady was kind of like, oh, she didn't know what to quite think. But the older lady was right with me. She's like, oh yeah. She goes, yeah, but she even said, she goes, yeah, but they do use those stars in satanic worship. That's what the older lady said. She knew exactly what I was talking about. It was funny. But anyway, so she said, check this out. How bizarre is this, right? She said that is a home. The middle-aged lady said, that's a home. I said, that's a home. I said, like for elderly people? Or, I mean, down here in downtown St. Pete, there's tons of homes for, like, I don't even know what, addicts, people that just can't function in society. I mean, they're not self-sufficient. I mean, there's just all kinds of homes like that. So, but the first thing that came to my mind was like a home for the elderly. And the older lady was like, she goes, yeah, they haven't let me in here yet. She was just joking. And I said, well, it's obvious why, I mean, because you're not old, even though she was older. But I mean, like I said, she was very, very beautiful, very elegant older lady, if you know what I'm talking about, if you've ever met that kind of person. Some people just age very gracefully, and this lady was definitely one of those people. But they said, no, the middle-aged lady said no. She said that this is actually a couple's home. Can you believe that? I mean, there must have been, man, I don't know, 10 suites back there in that nunnery part. I mean, what do they do? Knock the walls down, and now they live in like a 20,000 square foot. I mean, she said, no, it's a couple. They always wanted to live in a church. And I'm like, wow, that is bizarre, by my standards. That's just, first of all, who wants to live in a church? I mean, you gotta admit, there could be something weird going on here. I mean, somebody wants to live in a church. I gotta look into that star more. But like I said, I'm inclined not to believe that it's a star. But anyway, yeah. So that's pretty much that. I mean, that's just. But she said she said that she had heard that the couple was thinking about leasing it out as a church. Huh, man. I mean, that's the kind of a church that has been there 150 years would occupy. I can't see a modern church saying, oh, hey, we need a building. Let's go lease that building downtown that looks like it's 200 years old and make that our building. I just can't see that. I mean, everybody has all different kinds of unique points of view, and God bless them. I mean, that's great. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying I can't see it. I can't see a new church coming in and occupying a building that is obviously like 200 years old. Maybe that's what somebody wants to do, but I can't see it. Maybe it's not a new church. Maybe it's a traditional, 600-year-old denomination. They need a new location. Maybe, was downtown, I figured I'd stop by the Freemason or Mason. Like I said, to this day I don't know the difference between Masons and Freemasons. I don't even know if there is a difference. Maybe they're the same. I have no idea. But I've done a couple of exposés on, you might call them, on Masonic lodges. I heard they were called Bethels. The lady that stood up and talked about her experience with Masonic rituals and meetings, and of course they're not really rituals. It's a little bit degrading to call them rituals because it makes it sound like something shadowy and secretive, you know. But I don't think she used that word. I guess the most respectful thing would be to call them meetings. She said they were called Bethels. You know, she gave the whenever they had a meeting, she said she was 11 years old at the time. She was a certain age. I can't remember what age. Maybe she said since she was 8. You know, I don't know. But anyway, when she did mention the fact that when she was doing these things when she was 11, there's like an opening ceremony. There's like an opening thing that they read every week, kind of like in a traditional Baptist church. They say, "Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name." No, that's the Lord's Prayer. I think it's something else. When it comes up, I know it. I just can't think of the word right now. The invocation, doxology. It's the doxology. How does it go? I can't remember. But anyway, it's like a memorized thing. The Catholic Church obviously has tons of these things. Baptist Church, not so much. We basically have the doxology, and that's it. Sometimes we say the Lord's Prayer. That, as far as ritualistic, ceremonial type sayings, that's pretty much it for us. So they have the same thing here, and this lady was saying that it's like a swearing to secrecy, basically, where you say, "I will keep this meeting secret, proceeding secret, under penalty of being disemboweled, or having my eyes gouged out, or my heart." I don't know. She mentioned disemboweled. I added the eyes gouged out in the other part. She just mentioned the disemboweling part. But on several occasions, I've heard of this type of swearing to secrecy as a bloody oath. So apparently these oaths, and I have to emphasize the word apparently, because I'm not an expert. I don't know. I only know what I've heard on very few occasions. It is a secret organization, a secret society. It's widely known to be a secret society. So when I hear somebody stand up and say that they had to take an oath to secrecy upon punishment of bloody, violent, consequences, then I hear other people call these oaths of secrecy bloody oaths. Well, it's like 3 pieces of information coming from 3 disassociated people and places, and they all match. So they're all basically saying that the gist of what they're saying is the same. So, I tend to put credence on that idea at that point in time. If somebody comes along and says something opposite, it's going to cast doubt on it. Maybe I'll start to doubt, or maybe it's not what I heard from those other 3 locations. But it's 3 to 1 at that point. So, in my mind, I'll probably put the greater credence on the thing that I heard from 3 as opposed to the thing that I heard from 1. And I've seen a video of a guy debating an old Shriner man, a Shriner dude with a little conical hat. And he was talking about how he follows Lucifer. There's a 33rd degree Mason named Admiral Pike. I think it is Admiral Pike. There's a statue of him in Washington, D.C. He wrote some famous letters. You can look up on the internet and find for yourself, predicting World War I, or I think maybe World War I had just ended. So he talked about World War I. He predicted World War II, and he also predicted World War III. And if you read, he predicted World War II with impeccable accuracy in terms of just the nature of the war and who would be involved. And the way he predicted World War III, it looks like it's going to be impeccable accuracy as well, because he talks about Christianity and Islam, but his point was that what the world needs is total Luciferianism. So apparently to the Freemasons, just again, I have to put credence to the degree that the same thing, yeah. And the last two lodges that I did exposés on, they basically followed a pattern. No windows. One of them had active security. Very between poorly and moderately maintained. Very nondescript, that goes along with secrecy, right? You don't want to have like a big, sterling, shiny building. Everybody in the world is going to be asking what that building is all about. So you just have kind of a nondescript, not well-maintained building, and, kind of like blends in with all the other crappy, poorly maintained buildings. All the well-maintained buildings stand out. Those are the ones you pay attention to. And that is, sort of is a reinforcement of your goal, your objective of operating in secret, operating under the radar. So, like I said, from what I understand, as weird and as creepy as all this sounds, that nevertheless they recruit the biggest, the smartest, the best, the most powerful, and the wealthiest people. They try to recruit the mayor, the sheriff, the local military people, local military chiefs, the professionals in whatever profession, it doesn't matter, in manufacturing, IT, whatever. So, from what I understand, you can't just go join. You have to be invited, and when you go to join, you have to submit a financial statement. It's like an underworld status thing, and they are, in my opinion, they're a cult of power. So their objective is power, and power. If you're a secret organization, power is it's basically the dark side of power. It's about gaining control. It's about controlling things, controlling. A local Bethel, I would assume, would be concerned with controlling local events and local forces, local resources, local money, local wealth. Wealth isn't only money. Wealth is anything of value. Sometimes wealth can be a friendship, it can be a partnership, it can be a relationship. That's a form of wealth. Especially when you're talking about power. Power isn't so much about money. Power is about being able to get money when you need it, but not necessarily owning it. So not necessarily having it reside in an account somewhere under your name. It's just a relationship. Being able to get things done. That's power. Having access to people, resources, obviously money plays a part in it, but it's just a part. It's a cult of power. They're all about power. That's my philosophy. At the lower level, they all of this stuff about being invited and submitting financial statements. It gives it a very exclusive kind of appeal, and then it's secret. Well, you know what? People like secret. There is a certain allure to secrecy. It's kind of like a mad scientist kind of thing. It's like, oh yes, it's like a mad professor, oh professor, or the mad assistant to a mad professor. Oh yes, secret, oh. So they developed this cult, if you will, of power and secrecy, a cult of power, a cult of secrecy, and they normalize secrecy. Like I said in another video, if you're like me, you try to keep secrets, you typically fail because you're not very good at it. You try to pull things off, you typically fail because you're just not very good. You're just not very good at it. So secrecy is a skill, just like transparency is a skill also. Like, that's a skill. When I just blatantly blurted out exactly what I was doing without shame, without pride, without any kind of preconceived or preoccupation with having a preconceived expectation as to how they're going to respond. No, I don't. You train yourself to not think in those terms. It's a natural impulse to be worried about that. So you train. It's a skill to tamp that impulse back and to get that impulse under control and say, hey, I recognize that the impulse is there, but I'm not going to give a lot of credence to that impulse. It's not important to me. What's most important to me is being transparent and saying exactly what is, as it is, at the time that it is, to the people that are relevant for them to know what it is, and being done with it. And that's it. You're done. There's no more worry. There's no more, because once you give that worry a half an inch or a quarter inch or an inch of dirt to how do you say sprout roots in. Sprout isn't really the exact word, but put roots in. Then that worry grows into a worry bush, right? And then your whole life is just consumed by worry. And then that practice of holding back, and being less than transparent becomes, you've set a precedent for yourself. And and the nature of a precedent is such that it will repeat itself. That is the nature of a precedent, for good or for bad. And then once it repeats itself, now the precedent is, what's the word? Now the precedent is precedent. I don't know how to say that word, but proper enunciation is Precedent. Precedent. That precedent is established, right? And then once a precedent becomes established, now it's not very long before that precedent becomes a habit. Now, imagine having a habit in your life that generates worry. That's not uncommon. That's not uncommon for any of us. That's a very ugly, nasty, disgusting, horrible, debilitating, crippling, paralyzing thing, right? So I'm very excited about the fact that, I just blurted that out. That's a sign to me that I'm sort of mastering this skill, what I'm calling a skill of just being transparent, and just saying what is what is, without trying to embellish it and, wrap it in paper and make it look like this and no, it's just what it is. Whatever it is, that's what it is, And it was cool that the one lady was kind of like standoffish, she was kind of like that. Not literally, but just I had that feeling, that vibe, And the other lady was like, oh yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, of course, That was pretty cool, So while I was doing all that, I decided just to come down here and take a look at this third Masonic Lodge. Apparently, this place is defunct. There's a available sign in the parking lot, so they're picking up and moving out of here, moving somewhere else. But while it's here, look at it. It's a little bit different. I'm going to talk as much as possible in the car, because once I get outside, the wind really messes up the microphone and makes that psh, white sound as it passes across the microphone. This one is a little bit different. I mean, this one, to my surprise, is has a lot of windows. The windows are all about 4 feet off the ground, so they're not not necessarily. I guess that's not unusual for a window, but they're pretty high up. It'd be difficult for like this guy right here. The bottom of the window is above the top of his head. So, of course, the property is kind of done. It does have a grade to it. So maybe at this end of the property, the windows are not so high, but you can't just walk up to this place and look at the windows. At least not comfortably. You could look, but you'd be looking at an angle. You'd be looking towards the ceiling. You couldn't really see what's going on. Is that even relevant? I don't know. But I just, like I said, the other two Masonic lodges, they have no windows. And I find buildings with no windows to be odd. I'm looking at these other buildings, and they're like literally covered in windows. To me, a normal building is covered in windows. This building is kind of like ping, 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 like there's not exactly a lot of windows in this building. Windows are kind of the exception as far as the structure is concerned. Of course, that's probably a feature of the older buildings too. This is likely less windows because it's more, whatever. They just built the buildings differently. Anyway, I don't want to get into all that. But modern buildings are built with a skeleton, and they just hang a skin off the skeleton. Older buildings, the outside of the building, the brick and the mortar, the brick and everything, and wood. It was, that concept didn't exist. What you see is not a skin. What you see is the actual weight-bearing structure of the building. These new buildings, you can't see the weight-bearing structure because it's buried inside the skin. It's inside the walls. It's like steel beams and stuff like that. So it's a little bit different. So I got to grant them that. But I'll just go ahead and take a quick video of this place. We'll see what you think. If you listen to this, by the way, thank you. I appreciate it. I don't really know why I do these videos. I like it. It's fun. It's my latest obsession. So here we go. That's the building. See what I mean? There's some windows, but there's not very many, and I can't see what you're saying. Right, the thing is, I'll just make 2 videos. That way I can turn the camera.